Assalamu alaikum dear students. This is Department of English, Government Postgraduate College, Attak. I am Nasir Ali Shah, Assistant Professor of English. Student, we are reading the text of the novel The Old Man in the Sea, written by Ernest Hemingway. In our previous lecture, we read that on the 84th day, or even night of the 84th day, the old man slept late at night and woke up very early after having dreamed about the African beaches and about the lions. Most of the time, he dreamed about the lions instead of anything else. And very early in the morning, even into the darkness, he gets up and goes to the house of the young boy Manolin and wakes him up. When both of them come together to the old man's shack and they lift their gear or all the equipments that the old man used in his boat while on a fishing trip. They had some coffee. Then the boy went to take sardines which he had put earlier on the previous day in an ice house to be safe there. The boy goes there. Before going, the boy asks the old man, "How did you sleep, old man?" And the old man, Manolin, replies, "Very well." Moreover, he utters a very important sentence. He says, "I feel confident today." This sentence shows his strong willpower, his confidence, and his strong conviction as a fisherman that even after the failure of 84 days, he is not going to give up. He did not lose his heart, or he did not accept his defeat. He was confident with a strong conviction that he is going to catch a really big fish and prove his mettle. Then the boy bids him good luck, and after that the boy goes to bring the sardines and the baits for the old man. Here we are to start the text today. He walked off barefooted on the coral rocks, to the ice house where the beds were stored. He means the boy Manolin, young boy Manolin, walked off and went to the ice house. He went barefooted on the coral rocks, coral or small round-shaped stones, especially on the shore of the sea. He went walking on them barefooted without having shoes on his feet to the ice house where the beds were stored. The old man drank his coffee slowly. It was all he would have all day, and he knew that he should take it. Though it was very early in the morning, but the old man, Santiago, knew that for the whole day into the deep sea on his fishing trip, he did not, rather he would not have anything to eat for himself for the whole day. It was the only thing that he would have for the whole day. That is why he knew that he needed that coffee. For a long time now, eating had bored him. This sentence shows that how disgusted he was with his life. Earlier we have read so far that he was alone in his life. His wife had died long ago. He had no children, almost no friends. There was only the young boy Manolin with him, or we may say the young boy was in his life, whom he liked. Rather, he loved him just like his own son. That is why he did not, most of the time, he did not take interest in any of the other normal activities of life. So it is suggested here, for a long time now eating had bored him, means he did not take any interest in eating different kinds of things or delicious things. It was just a need for him, not an enjoyment for him. And he never carried a lunch. Moreover, it had become his habit that while going into the sea for a whole day, he did not carry a lunch there, and most of the times he did not eat anything during the day. He had a bottle of water in the bow of the skiff, and that was all he needed for the day. Instead of lunch or anything to eat for the lunch as a lunch in the daytime, he had only a bottle of water in the bow of the skiff. Skiff is a small boat, and bow means front part of the boat. He had only the bottle of water in the front part of his boat, and that was all he needed for the day. Means he used to take only the bottle of water with him, which he drank throughout the day instead of eating anything. The boy was back now with the sardines and the two bats wrapped in a newspaper, and they went down the trail to the skiff, feeling the pebbled sand under their feet, and lifted the skiff and slid her into the water. Now, when the boy came back with the sardines, small fish, and the two bats, these sardines are also used as bats when they are tied on the hooks to catch big fish. They were wrapped in a newspaper. Both of them went down the trail to the skiff. Trail means it's a rough, small, little path. Walking on the trail, they went down to the skiff on the shore, feeling the pebbled sand under their feet. Pebbled sand means it was a sand which was full of small pebbles, small round-shaped stones. Under their feet, they were feeling those pebbles buried into the sand because they were walking barefooted, and lifted the skiff and slid her into the water. They pushed and slid the skiff of the old man into the water. "Good luck, old man," the boy said. The boy bids good luck or wishes him good luck. "Good luck," the old man said. The old man replies with the same happy gesture, saying good luck. He fitted the rope lashings of the oars onto the thole pins, and leaning forward against the thrust of the blades in the water, he began to row out of the harbor in the darkness. After bidding good luck, the old man fitted the rope lashings to the lashings of the oars onto the thole pins. Lashings mean ropes, especially ropes that fasten something tightly to something else. So he fitted the rope lashings, means all the ropes which were bound together tightly with the oars. Oars are the instruments with a long smooth handle and flat at the front part, which dips into the water, which is pushed forward and backwards to row the boat into the water. So he fitted the rope lashings of the oars onto the thole pins. Thole pins are the wooden pegs set in pairs in the gunwale of the boat, or we may say in the upper edge of the boat side, to serve as oar lock, in which those ropes are tied and which serve as the oar locks. Having lashed them together, the old man, leaning forward against the thrust means push of the blades of the oars into the water, he began to row out of the harbor in the dark. As it was very early morning, it was still darkness, and into the dark he began to row his boat while pushing his oars into the water. There were other boats from the other beaches going out to sea, and the old man heard the dip and push of their oars. Even though he could not see them now, the moon was below the hills. Now, as the moon was also setting, it was below the hills, and the morning has not yet dawned, or the sunrise was also very sunrise was also very far away. It was still the darkness. So in the darkness, the old man could hear that around him there were other boats as well, or the fishermen who were going into their boats from other beaches going to the sea. And the old man could hear the dip and push of their oars through which they were moving or rowing their boats, and he could not see them. Sometimes someone would speak in a boat. Sometimes it happens that although the old man could not see the other fishermen or their boats, but he could hear the talks or sound of some other person. Someone spoke in the boat. But most of the boats were silent except for the dip of the oars. Most of the boats were silent means most of the people or fishermen in their boats, they were silently rowing their boats, and they did not talk much. Except there was the noise of their oars dipping into the water, and while they were pushed forward to row the boat, it was the only noise there. They spread apart after they were out of the mouth of the harbor, and each one headed for the part of the ocean where he hoped to find fish. These other boats spread apart means went far off from each other, or at a great distance from each other when they got into the deep water, and each one means each boat headed or took the direction of the part of the ocean where he hoped to find some fish. The old man knew he was going far out. As the old man knew that he was not going to search for fish in any nearby areas, of the shore, not near the shore, he knew that he was going far out into the deep sea, and he left the smell of the land behind. He was going far out. There was no more the smell of the land into the atmosphere there, because he had gone very far away, and rode out onto the ocean early morning smell of the clean early morning smell of the ocean. He saw the phosphorescence of the Gulf weed in the water as he rode over the part of the ocean that the fishermen called the Great Well. Now he was rowing over the part of the ocean which was called the Great Well by the fishermen. There he saw the phosphorescence of the Gulf weed. There was a Gulf weed which generally floats on the water, and phosphorescence means a slight steady light that can only be noticed in the dark. Light of something that shines in the dark. It was such a weed that shines in the darkness. So the old man could see its shine or brightness in the water when he was near the part of the ocean which was called by the fishermen the Great Well. And why it was called the Great Well? Because there was a sudden deep of 700 fathoms where all sorts of fish congregated. It was called the deep well because there was the sudden depth into the water of the sea. So there was certain depth of 700 fathoms. Fathom means it's a depth of 6 feet measurement of depth of water. So 700 fathoms depth means if 700 is multiplied by 6, it makes 4,200 feet depth. It was called the Great Well because there was the sudden depth of 700 fathoms where all sorts of fish congregated. Congregated means they came close to one another, or they swam together. They were brought together. All kinds of fish were congregated. Because of the swirl the current made. Swirl means round shaped or round movement twisting circular movement of the water swirled the current made against the steep walls of the floor of the ocean. Because here there were circular movements of the water which made the swirl in the water. So a lot of fish congregated or came close together or gathered at that area of the sea. Here there were concentrations of shrimp and batfish and sometimes schools of squid in the deepest holes, and these rose close to the surface at night where all the wandering fish fed on them. Shrimp is a kind of shellfish. Schools mean a large group of fish that are swimming together. Squid is also a sea creature with long body and 10 arms around its mouth. So all type of fish, shrimps, shellfish, or schools of squid or other sea creatures, they came together and they came very close to the upper surface of the water at night where all the big and hunting wandering fish ate them on and fed on them. Students, this is enough for today's lecture. We shall continue our text reading with explanation in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye and Allah Hafiz.